everybody, it's Damaris Bruce from the CN2 Sports Department. I'm here at Winthrop Coliseum with Winthrop men's basketball player Hunter Sadlon. So, Hunter, for the past 3 years, you have been playing as a walk-on, and now you got signed with a scholarship. So, just share with our viewers kind of what the difference is between a walk-on and a scholarship player.
The main difference between a walk-on and a scholarship player is basically just the money that you can receive for your housing, your tuition, things like that. And I was a walk-on here for 3 years, and I wasn't getting paid for my housing or for my school books or anything with tuition. So for me to have a scholarship as a senior year, to have earned that scholarship, it's a huge blessing in my life.
And so what was it that made you decide to join the team as a walk-on? Because I feel like a lot of athletes, if they knew they weren't going to get money, they would just be like, forget about it.
I think for me, me and Coach Kelsey are both from Cincinnati, and he had reached out to me when I was a senior because of some other guys that I knew who I played with who he was recruiting as well. And he really opened my eyes up to seeing the bigger picture of coming to Winthrop and being a preferred walk-on and just being able to have the experience here with these guys. For me, my goal was to always, first and foremost, win a championship here at Winthrop, which hopefully this year we'll be able to do that. And then a second goal of mine that I had after winning a championship was to earn a scholarship by my senior year. That was one of my main focuses as well, coming here.
And you guys are certainly making the most of this year. Let's talk a little bit about last night's big win over Greensboro, 106-63.
Yeah.
Share with me how exciting that is for you guys.
That was a big win for us just because, as Coach Kelsey was saying, it would kind of propel us into finals week and the Christmas break, because now we have games coming up in the next 10 days, so we can at least know that we got this win. We needed to get that to kind of springboard us.
And let's talk a little bit about conference play that's coming up for the Big South Conference. Like you said, hopefully you guys will win a championship this year. But just share with me kind of what y'all's game plan is going into conference play, because those games are important just like all the other ones.
Right. Well, I think we have 3 games left for non-conference before the conference season starts. But for us, we have to approach it the same way, but the only difference is that in conference everybody knows everybody, and so everyone will recruit, or will be able to scout extra, and we'll see the tendencies of guys more than what they have been in the non-conference schedule. But for us, it's just we need to knock out the non-conference schedule first, and then once that's done, we'll go into conference with a refreshed approach where we need to really go in there thinking we can win every game.
And if you guys were able to host the Big South conference tournament, just share with me how important it would be for you guys to have fans fill the Coliseum. Obviously it's important now for fans to fill the Coliseum.
Right.
How much more important would it be for that tournament?
Yeah, I think it's huge to have fans here now. I think that our team could really use the support from the fans, because we feed off of the fans' energy. But especially for the conference tournament, if we were to be able to host that and have that here at Winthrop with all the Rock Hill fans and supporters behind us, I think that would propel us to then break through to make the NCAA tournament for the first time in a while. And I know that since I've been here, we've lost 3 years in a row in the championship game, but we've been on the road every year. So hopefully if we were able to bring it back here to Winthrop, we could have great fan support and propel us to win the championship. That'd be huge.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Hunter, for taking time out of your busy schedule.
You're
Best
welcome.
of luck with finals that are coming up. That is
Thank
it
you.
from us here at Winthrop Coliseum. I'll toss it back to you in the studio. Dribbling over to Winthrop Coliseum, where the Eagles are hosting Charleston Southern for senior night. After this season, 5 of the players on the team, Rod Perkins, Tevin Prescott, Josh Davenport, Hunter Sadlon, and Keon Johnson, will leave the hardwood, moving on to the next chapter of their lives. What some of these seniors have to say to the community that has helped them rock the hill over the years.
The team really appreciates that, and we're very grateful for that. And the more the fans come out, the better it is for us, because we feed off of your energy. So we really appreciate the Rock Hill community and all the support you guys give us every day.
I just want to say thank you, from the bottom of my heart. And I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I will never delay gratitude, and Winthrop will always be a special part of my heart.
The Eagles will travel to face Presbyterian College on Saturday, February 25th. If Winthrop wins, the Eagles will host the Big South Conference Championship Tournament. Shooting for the championship title. In Rock Hill, Damaris Bruce, CN2 Sports.
Hello, I'm Laura Bree Monday. This is CN2 News.
Good evening, I'm Lucas McFadden. First up tonight, March Madness right here in Rock Hill. The Big South Tournament tipping off at 1 o'clock this Thursday afternoon, and those inside the Winthrop Coliseum certainly saw plenty of action.
In fact, we already have an upset. The defending Big South men's basketball champs knocked out in round 1. CN2's Michael Lafredo spending time inside the Coliseum today catching up with fans.
The stage is set and the Big South Tournament is underway inside of the Winthrop Coliseum, but hosting the event is something Winthrop has done before.
We actually won 3 straight here, 2005, 2006, and 2007. So to have the home court advantage in a tournament like this, where it's a one and done and you have a one bid to the NCAA, it's very, very important.
Winthrop Sports Information Director Jack Frost, who will be retiring at the end of the 2017 school year, has worked at Winthrop for now 27 years. He says a lot of things are different from the last time Winthrop hosted this event.
The social media craze has taken over. Back then we didn't have social media, so that's a big difference. It seems like everybody's engaged now.
Social media has been one way Winthrop Athletics has been pushing ticket sales as they look to sell out the Coliseum and truly rock the hill, but it is the in-game excitement that has the fans talking.
We got some bowling games, we got Hardy's Hot Shot Challenge, we've also got some chances for fans to come down and do some free throw shots, three-point games, and a half-court shot too is going to be in there. So definitely a family-oriented atmosphere down here at the Big South Tournament.
Come out and enjoy the experience. We have so much to offer here, and the atmosphere is so pumped that why be at home when you can be at this great facility?
One fan doing just that is Carrollton Clements as he rooted on the Campbell Camels. He was enjoying every moment this afternoon as he not only took part in all the festivities, but was cheering every second as his son Chris led Campbell to victory after finishing the afternoon with 51 of Campbell's 81 points.
My first experience in Rock Hill, actually. But the tournament is a great atmosphere, the Big South Tournament, and we're looking to do great things. We thought we could come down here and win, and this is one more game out of the way.
Dancing in the madness of March in Rock Hill, Michael Lofredo, CN2 News.
The Big South Tournament continues all night this Thursday with your hometown Winthrop Eagles taking on Charleston Southern at 7 p.m. Hope they have a great crowd. High Point and Gardner-Webb will follow that game with a 9 p.m. tip-off. The games continue Friday and the championship game Sunday at 1 p.m. CN2's Damaris Bruce will have more highlights from today's first games later in sports.
This is CN2 Sports. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, the Big South Men's Basketball Championship right here in Rock Hill.
CN2's Damaris Bruce standing by at the Winthrop Coliseum with some history behind the tournament and highlights from Campbell's upset over the 2016 Big South champs, UNC Asheville.
This is the first time that Winthrop has hosted the Big South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament since 2007 when Greg Marshall was the head coach. He's the one that led them to their first NCAA win against Notre Dame. Coach Kelsey is in his 5th year of coaching here at Winthrop University for the men's basketball program. He has yet to win a Big South Conference title. Defense is going to be the key for the Winthrop Eagles. They find that in players like Dubio, KK, and Josh Davenport. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from a UNC Asheville Campbell game that had a very unexpected turnout to it. Campbell beating the UNC Asheville Bulldogs final score of 81-79. Campbell came into the tournament and ranked number 7, UNC Asheville number 2. Last time a number 7 seed beat a number 2 seed was in 2015 when Gardner-Webb knocked off High Point. Now Campbell's Chris Clements, he had 51 points. UNC Asheville is a very talented team, though. They have a lot to be proud of. Their head coach, Nick McDevitt, he is in his 4th year of coaching at UNC Asheville. He was just named Big South Men's Basketball Coach of the Year, and the UNC Asheville Bulldogs made the appearance in the NCAA tournament, falling in the first round to Villanova, who, let me remind you, beat UNC Chapel Hill on a buzzer beater by Chris Jenkins. Now, later here tonight, the Winthrop Eagles are going to take the court against Charleston Southern, who came off of a very close game against Longwood. Winthrop has beat Charleston Southern 6 times before this meeting. And then Winthrop, if they win against Charleston Southern, they will face the winner of Gardner-Webb and High Point, which we played at 9 p.m. tonight. Be sure to stay tuned to all of our social media as I will be here covering the game, and we'll be doing a Facebook Live right before tip-off. That's it from me here at Winthrop Coliseum. I'll toss it back to you in the studio. Dribbling over to Winthrop Coliseum, where the Eagles are facing Charleston Southern in its first game of the Big South Conference Men's Basketball Championship, Winthrop winning big over the Buccaneers with a final score of 92-78, advancing to the Big South semifinals taking place this evening. This win was head coach Pat Kelsey's 100th win. He's the first coach in Big South history to reach 100 wins in their first 5 seasons, giving a lot of credit to the community that's shown a lot of support over the past 5 years.
You know, the community brought it. I thought a lot of our fan base was here tonight, and there's a huge contingent of our student body that was here tonight as well.
Winthrop will face the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs tonight at 8 p.m. at Winthrop Coliseum. The winner of that game will make an appearance in the 2017 Big South Championship game. More history was made on the hardwood as Winthrop faced the Buccaneers. Senior Keon Johnson, who is the 2017 Big South Men's Basketball Player of the Year, reaching 2,000 career points. He is the 10th Big South Men's Basketball Player to reach 2,000 career points. Johnson scored a game high of 31 points against Charleston Southern, tying for the 3rd most points scored by a Winthrop player in the conference tournament.
I never thought I'd be where I'm at right now, but I'm not really worried about that. I knew that would come along as I keep going day by day with my team, step by step. So, you know, I knew that was coming, so I'm not even focusing about that.
Another special moment happening in the post-game press conference where Charleston Southern's head coach Barclay Raid Boss speaking on Jack Frost's upcoming retirement.
For 12 years, he greeted me like family. And I learned a lot from that. And a lot of the ways that I try to greet people at Charleston Southern is what I learned from Jack. So love you, Jack. Appreciate you a lot. And see you next.
This is CN2 Sports. While the Winthrop Eagles men's basketball team won the Big South Championship, one of our high school teams, Louisville High School, sadly falling short on the hardwood in its championship game.
Those highlights from Columbia are straight ahead, but first CN2's Damaris Bruce continuing our team coverage of Winthrop's Big South win.
The Winthrop Eagles facing the Campbell Camels in the Big South Men's Basketball Championship game. A lot of attention and pressure put on Winthrop's Keon Johnson, the Big South Player of the Year, and Campbell's Chris Clemens, a smooth-shooting sophomore who contributed 51 points to the Camels' win over UNC Asheville. The Eagles pulling away in the second half, keeping a 20-point lead in front of the Camels, crowning the team the 2017 Big South Men's Basketball champions. Getting to the championship game was no small task, the Eagles facing the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs, the two teams tying it up at the end of regulation with a score of 68-68. The game going into overtime with Winthrop pulling out the win with a final score of 80-77. Senior Keon Johnson scoring a game high of 31 points, 29 of those 31 points being scored in the second half and overtime combined. This was the moment the Eagles knew that they would be up for a challenge in the championship game. Coach Kelsey on the court after the game, sharing an emotional moment with his father and his kids by his side, celebrating the accomplishment that he has always envisioned since taking over as head coach 5 years ago. Kelsey, with his son, who everyone knows as Johnny Ballgame, in his arms as he cuts down the nets inside the Coliseum, symbolizing the Eagles' championship victory. A very emotional Kelsey took the podium in Sunday's post-game press conference. Reset, it's all about the people that are by his side day in and day out.
If we lost today, this dude and I were going and playing hoop in the kitchen. And then we're going up and playing Legos. We were going to build Legos. And we're going to do that because we won, and we were going to do it if we lose. I come from a huge family. My mom's one of 10, my dad's one of 9. I have 52 first cousins. And many of them were here today. And so every one of them were watching back on television back in Ohio. And we're very close-knit. Family's very important to us. And this is something that I'll share with all of them as well.
Winthrop men's basketball players Xavier Cooks and Keon Johnson both being named to the 2017 All-Tournament team. Johnson is the first player to win Big South Player of the Year and MVP in the same season for the Big South since 2009. Cooks and Johnson have both been through the previous heartbreaking championship losses, sharing how great it feels to finally win that championship title.
It was just special, man. Last time I'll be here, you know, with a Winthrop uniform on, and just taking down our nets. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna use that net again, so you know what I'm saying. It's special.
It's been raining in Rock Hill the last 3 championship days on the last 3 years, and it's finally sunshine over here, and it feels great. It feels great. It feels like I'm at home again.
Cooks had a double-double in all 3 tournament games. Keon Johnson was the second player in Big South Conference tournament history to have back-to-back 30-plus point performances in the games against Gardner-Webb and Charleston Southern. Now it is time for predictions. Many publications, including renowned ESPN reporter Joe Lunardi, coming out with their updated bracket predictions this Monday. Lunardi has Winthrop as a 14th seed in this year's tournament, taking on Florida State down in Orlando in the first round. USA Today has Winthrop as a 13th seed, taking on 4-seeded West Virginia up in Buffalo. An online publication, SB Nation, has Winthrop as a 14th seed, heading out west to Sacramento to take on 3-seeded UCLA. And you can watch all the selection show festivities and find out who Winthrop is playing in person this Sunday, March the 12th at the Winthrop Coliseum. The show on ESPN is set to start at 6, but Eagles officials will open the doors to the event at 5 p.m. Again, the event will include players, coaches, and school officials as they learn who they will face. The event is open to the public.
This is CN2 Sports.
The Winthrop men's basketball team is getting ready for the NCAA tournament, of course. Head coach Pat Kelsey was interviewed by ESPN's Scott Van Pelt the other day, and here's a clip from that interview.
I happened to catch your game at Illinois, which you all won. You also competed pretty well on the road against a Florida State and a Dayton, and those last two teams for sure are going to be part of the tournament field. What do you think the greatest benefit of those games were that your team learned about who it can be?
I think playing on a really big stage and being competitive with those elite national teams can only give you confidence. If you watch that Illinois game, we have a little guy, he's 5'6". He says he's 5'7", but he's 5'6" if he's lucky, named Keon Johnson, that I think is one of the most explosive scorers in the country. And he's a fearless competitor and one of the best guards I've ever coached.
Well, Coach Kelsey has plenty to say before this weekend's selection show, and he will actually sit down with CN2 News and Friday Sportscast. That selection show will take place this Sunday at 5:30. The Winthrop Athletics Department is inviting the entire public to the Coliseum to celebrate with the team as it finds out who it will play in the NCAA tournament. Doors open at 5 p.m.
This is CN2 Sports. The Winthrop Eagles men's basketball team has touched down in Milwaukee, less than 48 hours away from its first NCAA tournament appearance since 2010. Winthrop Athletics posting this video to Facebook of their day in the sky as the team is taking off and gearing up for that tournament game this Thursday. As we told you last night, the Eagles are set to face the 4th-seeded Butler Bulldogs out of the Big East Conference. The team arrived in snowy Milwaukee this afternoon right before we came on set, and players like Tevin Prescott say they are even losing sleep because of the excitement.
I actually stayed up all night thinking about it. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I stayed up all night thinking about it because it's like a once in a lifetime, chance. It's my last year. So, we got to go out with a bang.
We get it, making memories. The Eagles are also planning alumni and student gatherings in Milwaukee before Thursday's game. Winthrop Eagle fans, young and old, that are making that 900-mile trip up north are all being asked to come out to a place called Brass Alley. It's in downtown Milwaukee tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7:30 Central Time. Also, if you're going to Milwaukee, we want to know what Eagles fans are having fun there. So send us your pictures and information to sports@cn2.com. And if you follow the Eagles basketball team, you certainly have heard of senior point guard Keon Johnson. Well, Johnson is making it known to the world it will be impossible to stop all 5 feet 7 inches of him. Johnson taking his story to the Players Tribune this week, which is an online publication founded by former professional Major League Baseball player Derek Jeter that provides daily sports conversations and publishes stories directly from athletes. Johnson talked about his life growing up in Mansfield, Ohio, and his relationship with Coach Kelsey during his recruiting process. And at the end of the article, Johnson says, as we approach the NCAA tournament, if someone thinks they can guard this shorter frame, they'll find themselves in trouble.